So we're in that final countdown phase before the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro are officially unveiled by Google, and with all the leaks coming in hot and fast, we have a lot of interesting things to talk about. Here are these last minute leaks for the Pixel 7 series, so you know exactly what to expect. Thanks for watching 9to5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. Right up top, if you're hoping for a big change in the design and hardware of the Pixel 7 series, then we're sorry to disappoint you. Google is refining and tuning the Pixel 6 series with its camera bar and making some important upgrades either internally and externally. From afar, the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro will look almost identical to the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. The redesign for a flagship Google phone is remaining, but with sensible changes to that all-glass camera bar, which is now set to have an aluminium frame for added durability. One major complaint that this hopefully does resolve though is camera lens smudges, which can ruin your images and videos and is a somewhat of a problem if you don't have a case on the Pixel 6 series. In terms of screen sizes, early leaks indicated that the Pixel 7 may have a marginally smaller 6.3-inch flat screen versus a 6.4-inch screen on the Pixel 6. The Pixel 7 Pro will come with a 6.7-inch curved display, and those screens could be the same used as on the Pixel 6 series, but the display curve on the Pro model is said to be a little bit less pronounced this time, at least according to leaked hands-on videos, which have since been deleted, with EVT units from YouTuber Unbox Therapy. According to the first hardware leaks though, the devices are said to measure in at 155.6 by 73.1 by 8.7mm for the Pixel 7 and 163 by 76.6 by 8.7mm for the Pixel 7 Pro. The Pixel 7 is going to be slightly shorter and a little bit wider than the Pixel 6, which does make it a better fit for some people for sure. It does mean though that existing cases may not work well with either model, but that's by the by. Compared to the recent design leaks of the Galaxy S23 series, it's also worth noting that the Pixel 7 definitely has a little bit more standout appeal without leaving behind last year's remodeling. That said, the Galaxy S line certainly has sales figures each year that almost surpass the entire Pixel lifetime sales figures for what it's worth. In years gone by, a number of playful colours have helped differentiate the Pixel series from the often samey smartphone space. Sadly this year though, Google is ditching cute pastel colours in favour of what we'd consider plain finishes. The two standout options though look set to be lemongrass for the Pixel 7, which is a somewhat yellow-green hybrid, and hazel for the Pixel 7 Pro, which is a nice almost forest green colour with metallic edges. Those two are going to be joined by snow and obsidian options for both models, which translate to white and black respectively. We'll have to wait to see the finishes in person, but renders and even some hands-on videos of a pre-release unit indicate that Google is going with glossy colours this time around, which might come as a disappointment to some of you out there. Those hoping for a major overhaul or upgrade from the Pixel 6, at least in terms of hardware, may be disappointed to hear that the Pixel 7 series looks set to be offering even minor boosts in the internal hardware on offer. The second generation Google Tensor processor is going to be at the very heart of this duo, but it might not be the upgrade you were thinking it was going to be. From digging, it appears that the Tensor G2, as it's going to be called, has the same octa-core CPU setup as the original chipset, which consists of two Cortex X1 cores, two Cortex A76 cores, and Cortex A55 cores. That seems identical at first glance or when you're hearing it, but the new processor is set to be built on the 4nm process and also rumoured to have a 10% clock speed boost. Will it mean major performance gains? Well, it's unlikely, but the first generation Tensor is still no great slouch. Another disappointment is that only two storage options are set to be available for the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro, with a spec sheet leak confirming that Google is ditching the limited or regional limited 512GB option this time around. If you need greater storage options, then you may want to look elsewhere, or at least invest in Google One Storage to offload large on-device files. The same display paradigm is also being adhered to this year. The Pixel 7, as we know, is coming with a 6.3-inch Full HD plus 90Hz AMOLED, no 120Hz, while the Pixel 7 Pro will come with a 6.7-inch QHD plus 120Hz LTPO AMOLED panel. It's not specified, but we're expecting an earpiece speaker is also going to return here after being restored on the Pixel 6 series, given that the Pixel 5 had a terrible under-display speaker for cause. Google is also keeping the batteries fairly familiar, but there could be a minor bump on the Pixel 7 this time around too. The bump from 4,614 mAh to 4,700 mAh doesn't seem that huge, but it could help squeeze a few extra important minutes from this phone. There's no change to the capacity on the 5,000 mAh rated Pixel 7 Pro this time around. No leak though has indicated the exact charge speeds we're expecting, but we think it's probably going to be capped at that 30 watts as was introduced last year. It's also not clear if we'll see true 30 watt charging this time around, or if we're going to be limited to 21 watts on the Pixel 7 and 23 that was found on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Wireless and reverse wireless charging are also returning, which we expect to be at 21 and 23 watts respectively using the Pixel stand, and 5 watts with that reverse wireless charging. As for the cameras on offer, we know that Google likes to fine-tune the camera quality rather than rely heavily upon the sensor hardware. The 50 megapixel Samsung ISOCELL GN1 sensor is receiving another outing for the second time this year after making its debut with the Pixel 6. After years of persisting with that aging Sony IMX363 main sensor, this has kind of felt like a quantum leap for the Pixel camera, with cleaner, sharper images that elevate the Pixel 6 back towards the upper echelons of the smartphone camera charts, and we expect the Pixel 7 Pro to be the exact same this time around. As we mentioned, if you're expecting a huge overhaul in the camera hardware department, prepare to be disappointed by these Pixel 7 leaks. That's not to say certain improvements are not coming. There are going to be some minor tweaks to an already excellent system that only truly differs with the inclusion of one extra lens on that Pro model. Autofocus is being introduced or set to be introduced to the ultra wide lens for the first time, according to leaks, which should help when taking those shots with that wider lens. All features introduced with the Pixel 6 series are also set to return, including Face and Blur, Magic Eraser, Live HDR Plus video, plus much more. One new camera feature is the addition of Cinematic Blur, which will mimic the cinematic mode that is found on iOS phones or even Live Focus on Samsung Galaxy devices. A lot of other OEMs out there are trying to achieve this with software, and it'll be interesting to see Google's take on this, given that their portrait mode is among one of the best on the market. The telephoto zoom lens is still set to be exclusive to the Pro version, but rumours also hint that we're set to see that 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 get replaced with a Samsung GM1 sensor, but there's no confirmation of this just yet. Leaked spec sheets though do confirm that the optical zoom capabilities are being increased from 4x to 5x, and this should mean sharper images at the upper limits of that digital or hybrid digital zoom range, and this is also set to take a step up from 20x to 30x on the new model in terms of digital hybrid zoom. The Pixel 7 isn't getting any major rear camera improvements, but it will have an 8x digital zoom, which is an improvement over the 7x on the Pixel 6 series. Previous leaks and rumours also indicate that the smaller phone gets a bump from an 8 megapixel selfie camera seen on the Pixel 6 to an 11 megapixel selfie camera here. This could help accommodate the highly anticipated face unlock function, which actually looks set to return with this newest smartphone generation. Leaks of the Pixel 7 features have not been quite as in-depth as in other areas, but as is often the case, the closer we get to launch, the harder OEMs do find to keep these things under wraps. And that is certainly what has happened, at least in recent days, as a ton of information has been uncovered as we approach that official launch date. Alongside a number of those new camera functions, as we've previously mentioned or uncovered, the Pixel 7 Pro is set to restore face unlock for biometrics, and this is going to be used alongside an in-display scanner for secure device unlocks, but there is no word on whether we'll get a different scanner as was used in the Pixel 6a, which is slightly more accurate than the one used in the Pixel 6 series, which people had a lot of issues with. Android 13 will no doubt come pre-installed on the Duo, but it's not clear if there will be any interesting and exclusive functions that will come bundled with the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro. We're just excited to hear about some of these features, as the Pixel 6 series and the Pixel 7 series will definitely share more than a lot of the same DNA. So there's going to be some sort of differentiation here from Google, at least in terms of the software. We're sure of it. So as pricing, last year the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro were offered at competitive rates of $599 and $899 respectively, and it was widely expected that the Duo would be offered at these prices once again. A US pricing leak indicates that the Pixel 7 will start at that same price, with Amazon even listing the 128GB Pixel 7 early at $599, so right on the money, as we'd say. Amazon was at it again though, with European pricing matching last year's prices of £599 in the UK and €649 in European regions. Interestingly though, the Pixel 7 Pro was not confirmed, but we're expecting that to start at $899 and €899 respectively. Those in Europe are also being offered some impressive incentives and free gifts once again this year after last year's excellent free headphone offers. In the UK, an early rumour suggests that you'll be able to get a free Pixel Watch, yes, a Pixel Watch, as a pre-order gift with the Pixel 7 Pro. The Pixel Buds Pro though will be offered as a freebie with pre-orders of the Pixel 7. It's not clear if other markets will get such a great deal, but it seems like a really good option for those early adopters, at least here in the United Kingdom. So as for release date and availability, Made by Google 2022 is scheduled for October 6th, where we'll learn all of the secrets and intricacies of this device duo, although we've learned quite a lot so far. And this usually aligns with Google's timeline for a flagship smartphone launch. It'll also be the first in-person events for the Pixel line since 2019 and the launch of the Pixel 4. 2 years of virtual events will be brought to a close with New York City playing host to this keynote, and we will be there in person. Following previous release cycles and launches though, we expect that you'll be able to pre-order the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro right after that keynote finishes, and according to the Amazon listings, the Amazon listing leaks for the Pixel 7, the phone looks as though it will be fully available and shipping as of October 13th, and that will be exactly 1 week after that October 6th launch event. This timeline does make sense, as Google generally launches products in the Pixel catalogue within a week or two of those pre-orders. So that's a pretty substantial collection of leaks and hopefully covers everything you need to know about the Pixel 7 and what is publicly known. I want to know though, what do you think? Is the Pixel 7 what you were hoping for or are hoping for? We'll have some more thoughts in the coming days after that keynote and maybe when we get some hands-on time with these devices, but I'm intrigued to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comment sections below. Always intriguing to hear thoughts of our viewers. But as always, this is Damien with 9to5 Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.